we've got $5 billion.
You can cut a deal with me.
Well, let me tell you, you've got 2,600 NASA employees in Louisiana.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a fascinating discussion from the Appropriations Subcommittee on Commerce, where Senator John Kennedy grilled key officials about NASA's infrastructure and the future of space exploration. Trust me, this one gets interesting, so stick around. And hey, before we get started, make sure to smash that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a deep dive like this. Now let's get into it.
Senator Kennedy.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have listened to each of you gentlemen with admiration. Thank you for your intellect and your service. Mr. Administrator, I know I don't need to tell you about the Michoud Assembly Facility in Louisiana. We're NASA's rocket factory. We're very proud of it. A few years ago, a hurricane blew our roof off, and you helped us to get it repaired, and I want to thank you for that, Mr. Administrator. I want to ask for your help with our administration buildings, building number 1, building number 2. They were built, I think, in 1943. We're spending about $1 million a year in repair costs. We've certainly reached the point of diminishing returns. Can you help us get some new buildings there?
I can help you, but I need your help too. We have $5 billion of unfunded infrastructure needs. Give you an example, last year I was begging and borrowing and stealing to get the money for a little old bridge between Virginia and Maryland so it wouldn't fall in the water and we couldn't launch our rockets from Wallops Island, Virginia. And we shouldn't have to do that. I was trying to cut deals with Senator Richard Shelby in order to get that because it was a priority, but we've got $5 billion.
You can cut a deal with me.
Well, let me tell you, you've got 2,600 NASA employees in Louisiana. You've got that Michoud facility. You've got 13 companies that are directly working on Artemis.
Yeah.
And the body of that rocket is built right there outside of New Orleans.
Well, if we get you some funding for the infrastructure that we know you need, I hope you'll keep our need in mind with respect to those 2 administration buildings.
Senator Kennedy kicked things off with a big concern: NASA's outdated buildings at the Michoud Assembly Facility in Louisiana. These buildings have been standing since 1943, and maintaining them is costing over $1 million a year. Kennedy made it clear, it's time for an upgrade. The NASA administrator acknowledged the problem but pointed out a bigger issue. NASA has $5 billion in unfunded infrastructure needs. He even had to cut deals to save a tiny bridge between Virginia and Maryland so rockets could launch safely. Kennedy, being Kennedy, wasn't about to let Louisiana get left behind. NASA needs more funding, but Kennedy is making sure Louisiana stays at the top of the priority list. What do you think? Should Congress invest more in NASA's infrastructure? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.
Let me ask you about your work on the Mars habitation and life support systems. I know we talked about it in past committee testimony, and we had some language in the appropriations bill. Basically, you've got to manufacture, as I appreciate it, mock-up and eventual habitats for your missions to Mars. Is that right?
I think you're referring to where we put people in an enclosure and try to simulate what it would be like for a year on the surface of Mars.
Yes.
That is going on, yes.
Can assembly centers like Michoud play a role in that?
That, if I recall, is going on at the Johnson Space Center in Houston.
Yes, sir. We can do it better.
Well, I'm always for better, faster, and cheaper.
That's
So
that's me.
let's look.
Better, faster, cheaper.
There you go.
Let's sit down and talk.
Okay.
Next, Kennedy shifted gears to NASA's Mars Habitation project. NASA is currently testing life support systems by placing people in enclosed environments for a year to simulate Mars conditions. NASA's response? Right now, this work is happening at Johnson Space Center in Houston. But Kennedy pushed back, saying Louisiana could do it better. The administrator seemed open to the idea, so who knows? Maybe Louisiana will play a bigger role in the Mars mission than we think. If Louisiana becomes a hub for Mars habitation research, it could mean more jobs and more investment in space technology. Let me know, do you think NASA should expand these projects beyond Houston? Comment below.
Okay. Finally, in the time I have left, tell me about your SLS heavy lift rocket for the Artemis missions.
Well, the core of it is built right in Louisiana.
Yes, sir.
Then they stack the engines on it. They barge it up to not too far across the Louisiana-Mississippi line to the Stennis Space Center. They test the rockets, and then the assembled core of the rocket is barged to the Kennedy Space Center, where then vertically it is stacked in the vehicle assembly building. This next Artemis 2 that will go next year will start to be stacked this summer. The solid rockets first, and then the core stage that's made in Louisiana will be done this fall. We tested it without a crew. The rocket performed flawlessly. It was so good that we did a whole bunch of additional tests. Mm-hmm. But now the test is to put 4 human beings in that spacecraft on the top of the rocket. And that's the next mission, to check out all the life support systems in the spacecraft, which is the capsule on top called Orion. And then the third one is where we go into lunar orbit. They transfer into a SpaceX lander. It goes down. They stay 6 days on the surface. We're only going to send 2 of 4 astronauts down. They come back and rendezvous in lunar orbit and then come home.
Now here's where it gets exciting. NASA's SLS heavy lift rocket for the Artemis missions. Kennedy asked about its progress, and the administrator confirmed that the rocket's core is built in Louisiana, engines are stacked nearby, and then everything is shipped to Kennedy Space Center for launch. That's right, the SLS rocket is officially a beast.
My time's up. Doctor, thank you for your service. Don't forget Louisiana.
Thank you. I would love to come and visit Louisiana.
You're welcome anytime. You're welcome
one of the
anytime.
10 regional innovation engines, Senator, last time you asked the question, if I can just take a minute.
Sure.
You said...
Take all the time you need.
You said to me, we need to make sure that opportunities, ideas, talent is everywhere. We need to energize that everywhere. Senator, I'm very pleased to report that one of the 10 regional innovation engines, type 2, which is a large scale on energy, is in Louisiana. And we have launched it, and we were very happy to do it with the governor in an event that happened in Louisiana. So I just wanted you to know that. In addition to that, we have also got the National AI Research Resource pilots, and University of Louisiana Lafayette is one of those projects. So you'll be happy to know that we are taking this message of the entire nation has got capacity to contribute, and we should leverage that. So I just wanted you to...
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Kennedy.
The next step? Sending 4 astronauts to test all life support systems before heading to the moon. And guess what? The next Artemis mission is set to launch next year. NASA is making history, and Louisiana is at the heart of it. If you're hyped for the Artemis missions, hit that like button. And if you're not already subscribed, now's the time. Trust me, we're covering all the big space updates. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.